Hey, I'm Shari Kaye, and I have been investing in real estate since 2012. And I know some of you might be thinking that investing in real estate is something extremely difficult, or it costs a lot of money to get in it, or whatever the reasons you have for being interested in it but not investing. But what I want to do today is I just want to share my real estate investing story with you. And I hope that by me sharing the story, it can encourage you to actually take action if investing in real estate is something that you want to do. All right, so we'll take it all the way back to 2012. At this time, I had an interest, but I just never took action on it. I was reading articles, reading books. I hadn't even joined like a mentorship program, but I was just scared of just crossing that line and actually put up my money to purchase a house to rent out. So 2012, and I wasn't married at the time, and I found out that I was pregnant. So then I was like, okay, it's either now or never. If I don't take this step and invest now, I'm going to continue to make excuses for not investing in real estate. And so with that mentorship group that I was a part of, they would send you like real estate listings, and whoever responded first, you kind of got the deal or what have you. And then so I responded to the deal, and I had won the deal. And I was very nervous at the time. It was about $13K out of pocket that you had to pay down, and we were going like, you're getting a hard money loan. If you have any questions about like any of the terms that I'm using, by all means put them in the comments below, and I will explain them in later videos. So I got a hard money loan. That was the goal, was to get a hard money loan, renovate the house, put some tenants in the house, then refinance. Put some tenants in the house and then refinance it and pull the money out to pay back the hard money loan. And now this house was a short sale, and short sales are anything but short. They take a very long time. And I didn't mind at that time that it took a long time, because to be honest, I was so scared. I was very nervous to put down my $13K to purchase this house and go through that whole process. So the entire process of this short sale pretty much lasted my entire pregnancy, because I gave birth to my baby girl, gave birth to baby girl, and then like 4 days later, I was meeting the tenant at the house to hand over the keys to the rental property. So that was the very first property, and I bought that property. I didn't even own my own home at that time. We were still living in an apartment. He was my boyfriend at the time. We were living in an apartment at that time, but I just knew that I wanted to invest in real estate. So then after the house, we moved into our own house down there. So then we bought our own house, knowing that we were going to move, because we're a military family. So we knew that we were going to move eventually and rent that house out. So we bought just a simple 1-story, three bedroom, 2 bath, 1-story garage type house down there. So eventually we moved. This was in Texas. We moved from Texas to Alaska, found some tenants, rented that house out. So now I have 2 rental properties. Both of them, 2 rental properties are in Texas. So now we're living in Alaska. I know, Alaska of all places. So we're living in Alaska now, and the cost of living in Alaska is extremely high. And we were paying crazy amounts of money on rent. We went to an apartment when we first got up there. And so I did some research, and I thought, okay, if I get a duplex, the tenant's rent would cover a majority of the mortgage, and we would it'd be less expensive for us to live in a house versus living in this apartment complex. So I found an awesome realtor up there, and she helped me look and find. We were looking at all types of duplexes, and we finally found a duplex that worked for us. And I was looking for something that needed a little bit of work on it. I wanted something that kind of has some built-in equity in it already. And we're a military family, as I mentioned, so we were going to use his VA loan. There's like a misconception. Some people think you can only use the VA loan once, which is not true. Our house that we had bought in Texas for us to live in, we used the VA loan, but there was still remaining amount of credit. And so then we used like the second part of the remaining amount of credit and was able to get another VA loan and get the house up in Alaska. And with the VA loan, the reason that that's significant is that it's pretty much no money down. You pretty much buy the house with no money down, and they tack on a fee, but that's incorporated in the amount of the mortgage. So, I mean, weigh the pros and cons to that. No money out, but they tack on the fee or pay. You could have got like an FHA loan, which is like 3.5% down, which is the lowest that I've seen. There might be some other type of loan vehicles out there that get you in. But the beauty of getting a duplex, is that you qualify for those types of financings that I mentioned, like a VA loan or a FHA loan. Because to the banks, anything under 5 units, so 1, 2, 3, and 4, a 1, 2, 3, 4 unit, they all consider that single family. And I know you hear maybe like multifamily or single family, but to the banks, anything a single family house, a duplex, a triplex, or a fourplex, to them, that is all considered single family, and you can qualify for those same type of loan products that you would for a single family home. So if you know like it's not going to be your forever home, I definitely recommend looking into like a duplex or a triplex or a fourplex type of situation, because you have to live in those things I think for about a year or two. Look up the rules, before you do this. And then after that, you're able to turn it into a rental when you got in with like almost no money down going in. So yeah, check that out. So anyway, back to my story. We found the duplex, and then it needed a little bit of work, and it was also a short sale. So that one didn't take as long as the first one. That one I think I put in the offer in May, and then we closed on it in November timeframe. So from May to November was how long the bank took the process to approve the short sale. And so when we moved into that one, it already had a tenant in the other side. So they were great tenants. So we decided to keep the tenants, and the tenants rent paid like 95% of the mortgage amount. So it was a really good deal. It really worked out for us. And we stayed there for about 3 years, and then we moved to the East Coast. So we moved to the East Coast. And then at this time, I sold my first property and pulled my money back out of that. All right, so now we're on the East Coast, and and then I find out that I'm pregnant again. And what do I do when I'm pregnant? I buy property. That's what I do. But this time I was like, I'm pretty much done with single family. It was fine. And even having the rental in Texas, not Texas, the one in Alaska, where now I have 2 tenants in that one, I'm always like, that property has spoiled me now. Because if I'm not getting the type of returns, like if I'm looking at deals and it's not giving me the type of returns that property is giving me, it's really hard for me to go forward with it, because that was such a home run deal. And I do realize all deals are not going to be home run deals, but it spoiled me. So this time I found out I was pregnant. This time I was like, okay, I want to do apartment investing. I've always wanted to invest in an apartment complex. So what I did was I partnered with somebody, and I invested as a partner, but it was like a silent type partner. Well, not a silent partner, I don't know what you call it, like a passive partner. Invested like as a passive partner in the deal. So I took the money that I had pulled out from selling the first house, and I just rolled that into the apartment complex deal. And so, and it's a 60-unit apartment complex, and it's down in Texas. And that's working out very well. I like that more than the single family, to be honest with you, because it's just, we have meetings every month about how the property is doing, and they send me my checks every quarter. I love going to my mailbox and getting those checks every quarter. All right, so as of now, I just have the one property in Texas, and then I have the duplex in Alaska, and then that partnership deal in the 60-unit apartment complex, and that one's also down in Texas. So going forward, my goal is to buy another apartment complex, but this time to be the person that actually like puts the whole deal together and does all the legwork and that whole deal. So that is pretty much my real estate investing story. If you have like specific questions about anything that I've discussed, go ahead and leave those down below. I'll be more than happy to answer the questions that you may have. And if investing in real estate is something you truly want to do, definitely look into it. It's not impossible. There are tons of strategies and different ways to go about it. My personal strategy is the buy and hold, or specifically, I can never say that word, specifically apartment investing. But it's not something that's out of touch, that's out of reach, that's impossible. Definitely get the knowledge, get an understanding of how to invest in real estate, and then just take that step. That the first one is definitely the scariest, that first property. But after you just take that step, it's just rinse and repeat. Once you learn how to make money passively, just keep on doing that. And a good resource is the Bigger Pockets website, and I am not affiliated with them. It's just they were a wealth of knowledge during my journey. I'm still in my real estate journey, and they're still a wealth of knowledge on the biggerpockets.com website. And they also have a podcast and like a YouTube channel. They're all over. Just search Bigger Pockets, and whatever questions you have, I'm sure they have an answer for it. All right, with that, all the best to you.